Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome, Eric Cozy. How is it going?
It's all right. It's good. Not too bad.
Yeah. It's you must have got finished work early to be around this. What time is it over there in Crunch Island?
It's 4:15.
Yeah. You must have got all your work done pretty quick.
Well, it was raining.
Never.
Technically the work I was doing shouldn't have been being done in the rain, but
Well, no, not if you're dealing with electrics.
well, I wasn't dealing with live electricity, but I was in a rough house putting a
No.
riser pipe for the low voltage electrical to eventually be run in. So I was putting in the pipe for it. So yeah, anyway.
So you'll be looking for a bit more weather in Crunch Island over the next couple of days.
Actually, this week we're supposed to have a lot of rain. Actually, it's been fun. Yeah, and it's delivering. So,
all right, okay. Yeah, we've still got snow.
Yeah,
we had some snow yesterday. And when I went around today. The other thing I'm finding is, well, a lot of snow, but the other thing I'm finding is that obviously I'm going to have to wash hands every house I go to, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's something to do with Toyota. It's a Corolla virus, is that right?
A Corolla?
Corolla virus?
Corolla virus? I thought it was cerveza, but maybe.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, one or the other, anyway.
I heard the Scots had this licked. That there was something about the fact that you guys are walking around with 40 proof blood all the time was somehow keeping the virus at bay.
That's probably true. I think here in Scotland, well, in the Scottish borders, we've got 2 verified people with carrying it. I don't know how bad they are, but the problem is that the sad news is that as far as me taking up my new position, that's been postponed.
Right.
And I was going to take over as the numero uno on March 28th. Well, it's had to be postponed, as is all activity, because of course, when you're dealing with a load of people, particularly in my organization, we have a lot of very elderly gentlemen who are obviously married to elderly women, wives that you cannot have a risk even to be seen to be doing nothing. It's one of those situations where logic suggests that as long as you're cautious, that should be enough, and that's what we're being recommended. But if we didn't do anything, and later on things got worse, whereby and it's not just older people. Obviously, it's all ages. If you've got any kind of medical condition, apparently this can cause a problem. I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know have you had any similar sort of precautions?
It's not. No, people aren't getting really crazy about it here, but
no.
I do see the occasional person wearing a mask. That wasn't altogether abnormal in certain parts of LA. To see, you generally see it like in the Korean district a lot and stuff, where the women will be wearing masks and stuff like that. But I've been actually seeing it, near the airport, because that's so that's that's interesting, because you're seeing people do it near the airport, which is probably a good place to be doing that, because you are going to be running into a whole bunch of different people who are moving all around. So that's the key way that this thing would most likely spread. So being careful at an airport, I can say, would probably be a very, very good thing. So, but or around the airport. So, but it's not like all crazy here. I don't know. I'm not even sure. I haven't heard about any, like, a lot of confirmed cases of it or much about it here. So, yeah.
Okay. No, it's just that we had I've been at a committee meeting, just come from it actually. And one of the statistics I didn't realize, or facts, or whatever you want to call it, is that apparently this COVID-19, it can survive on a hard surface for up to 72 hours.
Oh wow!
Which means it's a resilient little what's it that you don't want to. As I say, it's if it's causing mayhem amongst people who are not in the best of health, then obviously it's something that needs to.
I can understand the lodge wanting to take precautions. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. And not having, as I say, loads of people being carrying it back home. I think that's the main thing. I mean, we've even got a situation where people are suggesting that rather than shake hands, that you sort of knock elbows together. Have you seen any mention of that?
Oh, right. I guess.
Apparently, in the days of when Scotland had lots of mines, coal mines, apparently people would, well, rather than shake hands because the hands are like covered in dirt anyway.
Right.
They would knock each other's elbows together, and that was a way of like a a Victorian high five.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Or what's it? The fist pump. You often see the guys that they two fists together, don't they?
Right.
Well, they were doing that back in Victorian times with their elbows. Anyway, dude, how's it going? What are we looking forward to?
State's response.
Sorry?
The state's response?
Yes, absolutely. Due when?
Well,
the day before I was supposed to go to the chair, but that's been put on hold.
It's due this month on the 27th currently.
Yes. And the state's attorney, assistant attorney general, I suppose they're all assistants to the attorney general, aren't they, Josh Gore?
Right.
Lisa Comfort, right-hand person, support staff, whatever. What was her name? Winters, AAG Winters has cleared off.
Who, recused herself or whatever, removed herself. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently they're bringing in this guy, David V. Moss, who has done one or two misdemeanors, shall we say.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact details, and we don't know yet if he's definitely taking it on. I haven't heard exactly what's happening there. But of course, one does suspect that, based on the fact that originally the state was supposed to respond within 90 days, weren't they? No. Sorry, going back to November when their response was due. They then asked for an extension, and they got the 90 days extension.
Right.
And then they said it again in
they got February. A 45. Yeah, they got a 45 days.
45. So, I mean, if they ask again, what are they looking at? A 22.5-day extension?
I would think it would probably be maybe a 15 or 20 day. I don't know, but
I mean, do you think it could be that they're bringing the guy in to ask for this bit longer? Would that be an excuse?
I mean, I would think. Well, if I was the court, I would take offense to that. Be like, all this time and you're bringing in your lawyer now?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know if they would want to argue it that way. I don't know, dude. They've had plenty of time.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that there's just there's no good way to say what they have to say.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we gave those bones back, but, well, those weren't Teresa's bones. And what the hell were you giving them back for?
Mm.
It's just like.
So they would be bringing this guy, David Moss, in at the last minute for what then? I don't get it.
Part of the legal team or whatever. I mean, is he going to be the guy who argues it? I'm not really exactly sure about that, but
Why? I mean, I don't know why you have to have multiple lawyers. It's like both Steve and Brendan's case. You basically had three people sitting at a desk
Yeah.
in terms of the prosecution, and obviously you had Dean and Jerry. They had to work together. I get the fact that it was, you needed. Well, or at least he was recommended to have these two guys work together. So that's what happens. But
Yeah.
well, I suppose it would be considered as being, not taking it serious if you didn't have two assistant attorney generals.
I don't know. I mean,
what I'm saying is I don't understand what this David Moss brings to the party, other than if things go pear shaped, they've got somebody to blame.
that could be. Maybe bringing him in because he's completely detached from it. Maybe
Right.
they feel that he'll be able to argue the case without having any guilty looks on his face or anything while he's arguing. I mean, it could be just that. That could be why Fallon took off. That could be why because they already have an inkling of some nefarious activity going on, and they don't know if they can deliver it with a straight face. That's my guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is also another possibility, and that is that they desperately looked around for people to help Lisa Comfort out, and everybody said, "No, not interested."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's maybe. I don't know. I've seen a lot of options, but I had to laugh. I was telling you earlier about the post, the tweet by TikTok Manitwok.
Yeah.
Where he posted dialogue, and it was Judge Willis, "You are the most dangerous person to enter my courtroom." Stephen Avery, "Judge, you've already told me that before." Patrick Willis says, "Not you, Steve, the prosecution attorney."
Yeah, that's funny though. That's TikTok though. I mean, just look at the way he started out Mammothon last year when I had him on.
Yep.
First thing he said when he came on the screen, he's like, "I'd like to ask everybody under the age of 14 to leave the room." And
yeah, that was that. I was checking on the timings, and I believe you did 9 till 1 o'clock on the Friday.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, was that your 7 till 11?
Well, see, I think it might have been.
Yes.
I think we were basing it on Central Time last year.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think we're thinking this year we may start it at 8 and base it more on Eastern Time. But anyway, we're toying with when we're going to start it. We know within 2 to 3 hours where we're going to start it, but we're just trying to figure out which hour we're going to land on here.
Yeah. So. And there's 8 of us, and all 7 of us do 1 hour, and you do 41 hours. Is that right?
Yeah. That's not funny. That's not funny.
It was your idea to make it 48 hours.
If you want that kind of a marathon session, you're going to have to get Allie back in.
Oh, definitely, yes.
I don't know how much of a chance there is for success with that. I'd love to see it, but
yeah,
I think maybe we might need to wait a year on that.
No, I'd love to see her back. That would be brilliant. But we've got quite a varied lineup this year, haven't we? I think it's gone from. Is it from 4 up to 8 hosts? And some of the guests that are going to be on.
Well, we've got. Let me see. I think we're back up to 8. Yeah, so we've got
Andrew.
So everybody gets this. So we were looking for 8 segments or 8 hosts, right? And then the way that breaks down, timing wise, is that each host ends up with 2 3-hour segments. So what we were going to do is Tracy's going to do one. Tracy Struncy is going to do a segment, but she's not like really capable this year of being able to do a second one and that sort of thing. So what I did was I got my good friend, my secretary on Scottish Independence, Miss Sharon Sunshine, and she is going to go ahead and do the second segment there. So it's like Tracy and Sharon are one host, essentially covering one host slot, basically. Then you have obviously me. You have Mr. Capaldi here. And then you have Linda Kay. You have obviously Finn and Julie over at 80 More Things. You have Millbilly. You have Andrew Whitehead. And we have Jerome. So that's 8. So that's our 8. Counting Tracy and Sharon as one slot. So it's 8 hosts. So it comes down to 2 3-hour segments that everybody's going to have. So, and the idea with getting the international hosts involved was a big part of it this time, because we wanted to go ahead and have them on at the times when it's obviously daytime in Europe and Australia, or either morning or or morning or early evening in those places, so that when it's middle of the night here, we could have, the international hosts hosting it, and because it makes more sense that way. And so that was one thing we're kind of working on how it all works this year again, but we did complicate it a bit by adding to it, and that's going to be a logistical thing here moving forward, that we're going to have to deal with some of the new hurdles with having so many people involved. But I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about it, with having all these hosts involved, being able to show people from last year how much this community is continuing to grow, and how many people are out there getting passionate about Stephen and Brendan's, plight, as it were. So that's a big part of it. And so for me, showing that, I'm really excited about that. So, and we're making today did a lot of talking and got a lot of things decided and kind of nailed down. We're going to be working on some advertisements here very soon. At least we're going to be working on one to come out here in the short term. We're going to be working on some other ones to be coupled with potentially some music. We're just, you guys remember last year, there was the one advertisement that had Stacey Seabrook's Truth Train in it and stuff like that. So we're thinking about things like that. So we're moving forward. Things are looking really good. And so it's starting to get pretty exciting, and I'm excited for all the new hosts as well.
Absolutely. Just one query. Linda was saying, is it 72 hours because it's spread over 3 days? I think it's still 48, but it's spread over 3 days because it's
we start. Yeah, it's
late on the Friday.
We start on the Friday that we end up saying 24th to the 26th, but really we're only the tail end of the 24th, last 2 hours of the 24th.
Yeah,
and so yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, so you've got Sharon on.
Sharon's gonna host a segment.
Oh, she's a Ouija. I mean, she could speak for 48 hours.
My trusty,
easily.
Dude, she's my trusty Ouija. Dude, she is part of the inner sanctum. So, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And when we have the Ouija on, are we going to get subtitles?
Nope. Oh. Watch some still game. There's your subtitles.
Talking about videos we did recently, I'm still laughing at that chat that we did with Dan Davis and Jerome and Monica.
Yes.
Monica, bless her. I mean, she was working nonstop trying to keep up.
Yeah. And then you kept coming in with nonsensical, stupid-ass questions for her to ask, like about Captain Crunch. Dude, the funniest part for me was when I said, dude, if she flies to Scotland and slaps you, I'm going to...
I had to laugh when I said about the fact that you've got a fake birth certificate, and you had to quantify that by saying, he's on about Captain Crunch, not me, folks.
Yeah.
Can you remember this time last year, the drama you were causing
The drama I was causing last year?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Do I remember the drama I was causing?
Yes.
This time
yes.
last year.
To me and Mark, the stress you were causing.
Oh, well, the stress I was causing.
You were causing.
How was it wait, I'm sorry. Excuse me a second here. How was it stressful for you guys?
It was stressful, I can assure you.
Uh-huh. I'm the one who was running around like a freaking madman to the, federal building and this and that and trying to get the passport. I was the one that was on the hot seat. I don't understand why you, felt like I was giving you drama. I mean, you were really uninvolved. It was all me.
I mean, I know for a fact you must have spent an absolute fortune trying to get organized, even with just your passport.
Dude, and then I ended up getting it, literally, finally had it in my hands like 5 hours before I was getting on the plane. Literally like 5 hours before I was getting on the plane. I was just like, oh my Lord.
Yeah. I mean, when I got on the plane, I didn't even know if you'd got your passport.
Right.
I was just assuming that, well, I was how shall I put this? I was dreading the worst. That right. You hadn't got your passport. No, I'm only kidding. No, it was pretty dramatic. But I mean, the thing is, I seem to remember at first you were a little bit apprehensive about.
I was worried about being able to get it in time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think just the idea of going to Australia anyway. I think you were a bit sort of. I think there was obviously an issue with work, wasn't there? You had to get the time off a whole week.
It's always work, dude. I mean, I will say that I wasn't as savvy for travel, but I mean, I love Mark, I love you, and I mean, it was going to be it was just an opportunity that couldn't be missed, obviously. So then after going to Australia, it's like, dude, I find myself, I'm like looking for any excuse to be able to go and travel now. I just want to go and see things and do things like I did. I mean, I caught a bug by going to Australia. So.
Yeah. And really, I would have to admit it's slightly unfair of me to say, where have you been? You've never been outside of America. America is a huge place. Even well, no, seriously, even for you, right, to travel to Wisconsin, there are people in Canada that have a much shorter journey.
Sure, definitely.
It's
the flight. Let's see, the flight to Wisconsin is about 4 hours from LA, and that's on a flight. So,
And that was to Chicago, and then you've got to get from Chicago to Green Bay.
I fly into Green Bay. Well, yeah, it goes through Chicago to Green Bay. Yeah, so
well, I mean, the risk of flying to Chicago is that they have this strange phenomenon there from time to time. It's called weather.
Yeah.
and then you get delayed, and on the way back last year the year before, the rally the year before, you got delayed, and they wanted to send you to various other places.
Oh God, they were trying to send me to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's see. First, they wanted me to go all the way to Atlanta. I'm like, you want me to sit on a plane for? I mean, it was like some 8-hour flight, and then or something like that, or 6 hours to Atlanta, and then it was going to be 4 hours to LA, or whatever. And it was like it was going to take 11 hours, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
But were they willing to do that for you for free? So you could have had 11 hours flight instead of 4 hours on them.
Yeah, but
there you go. I mean, you just said you enjoy the traveling.
I enjoy getting there. I enjoy destination. I don't enjoy traveling. Dude,
you do.
Let me just tell you, as much as I loved Australia, I did not love the 15-hour flight to Australia. The 15-hour flight to Australia can, it's hard to sit still like that for that long. It's very difficult for me.
Yeah, but flying back, you got to achieve a lifetime ambition, and that was to genuinely be a Time Lord.
Yeah. Because I got to go back in time.
Yes. How did that feel like?
Yeah, I left Australia at 11:30 on Monday, and I arrived in LA at 6:30 a.m. on Monday. So
yeah. Yeah. I seem to remember we got there and we were saying our goodbyes about 9 o'clock, and that was when you had to head off for go through your departure. Well, to your
was it 9? I thought it
departure
was
lounge.
like 11 or something, but I don't know.
No, it was like, well, yeah, but you've got to sit there for a while, haven't you? Before you get off.
Well, yeah, so 9.
Yeah,
something like that.
And then me and Mark went and cleared off and went down to the Palisade for a few more beers.
Right, because you're
just to celebrate the fact that you were gone.
Finally gone. Yeah.
No, it was good fun, and I'll tell you what, I really did enjoy the coming to the rally.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was, yeah.
It was great to see you in Eunice, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was. It's funny how it was so cold for everybody there. They were complaining about how cold it was.
Yeah, well.
And I'm like, well, this is like summertime in Scotland. I'm feeling the heat. Every photo you see of me, I've just got my Australia shirt on. Honestly, I sweat. And I seem to. Apparently, I had a good time on the Saturday night. Not that I can remember anything of it, but apparently there was a big party back at the Rally House. But
yeah,
I wouldn't know much about that because it's good fun.
Everybody, look up Denise Rainey on YouTube and go look for some videos uploaded last year around end of June.
So how's the singing coming along? Have you how's that going along? Have you been doing much singing lately?
I'm not a singer.
Have you not? Oh no. Well, what did you send me yesterday then?
A parody.
A parody, right? Okay. Now we'll see what we can do on that one. I get it. You've just got exactly the same. Sometimes even the same lyrics. We've just changed it slightly. Yeah.
Well, it's sometimes the same lyrics, but
yeah.
But a lot of it's different. But it's in the same time as the lyrics that are there. So it's like so that I can sing it just like the song, just in the same cadence, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sing? Did you say sing? You're going to sing it.
Yeah. Well, whatever you call it.
I thought we had come to the conclusion that in our all-star band, we've got this all-star band on the go, haven't we? Let's just run through the lineup again. So there's the band that the band that we're putting together. Yeah, well, there's myself and Rule on keyboards.
Right.
We're going to be the guys on synths.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're the keyboard players, so we're the guys that are in charge because we understand music, right?
Right.
Okay.
Sure. We've actually a choir director.
Well, there you go. You see. And then we've got guitarists. Well, we've got plenty of guitarists because we've got Jerome, we've got Stacy.
Yeah, Jamie Hart.
Yeah. Jamie Hart. Yeah,
is thinking about sending you a audio recording of him doing the guitar for Come With Me Now.
Excellent.
So
excellent. Dare I say it, of course, a lot of people don't realize, and they would have to check the videos out, but Mark Hodden himself also plays guitar.
Yeah. Stacy got him to get it out in Australia, and Mark was able to play along with Stacy.
Yeah. And then we've got Rick Marler. He's good on the bass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, what I'm just wondering if your musical talents wouldn't be wasted if we put you on lead vocals. Maybe your specific forte would be percussion. We could put you on cowbell
or the triangle.
Well,
I'll be like Baldrick running up in Blackadder 5, right at the end. In the intro when he runs up at the end and he goes ding at the end of the intro. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, if anybody who's a Blackadder fan knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, the rest of you are going, what the hell is he?
Yeah. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Oh, Mark Hodnot's here. What's up, Hod? Brother?
You let him in. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Yes. Yes. Yeah. What's he put? How do you do that?
We need more cowbell. There you go. Gotta have more cowbell. I got a fever.
I got a fever. Does anyone cure?
No prescription. There's more cowbell.
Yes. Now you've put me right off because I forgot what I was going to say then. But so yeah, we've got all these hours to fill in for Mamathon. Have you? Are you going to start it off and end it as before?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll be my 2 segments, folks. So you know when I'll be on.
Yep. And starting possibly 8 o'clock your time.
We're looking at. It's looking like 8. Yeah. We're
Your
thinking,
time.
but could be 7, could be 9. We'll see. But it's looking like 8. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that in that window, folks, on the 24th.
Excellent. Before then, of course, we're doing some more live chats with the Gorilla.
Yep, Magilla.
Yep. And
you should be arranging one with Fleetside right now, right? For us soon.
Well, which we'll try and see what see what we can do there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly at the moment. I'll be honest. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. It would be good. It would be really good if we could get something moving forward on that. But that might we'll just have to wait and see on that, because really what Fleetside wanted to do was to open it up to a much bigger discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, he has to start. Every journey starts with a single step, so he has to start.
That's absolutely true. Yes, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've been working on some things that I would like to cover, certainly in a bit more detail. Have you watched any of the newest Netflix? Have you finished watching the Gabriel Hernandez?
I haven't finished it yet. No.
Have you watched Who Killed Malcolm X?
No.
No. I think it's quite interesting, isn't it? Kathleen Zellner tweeted about the fact that there's, the top 5 Netflix shows are one that I know the kids like. Is it BoJack Horseman? Is number 2, but number 3 Making a Murderer.
And number 2 and 3 are Making a Murderer?
Well, no. BoJack Horseman was number 2. Making a Murderer number 3. I don't think it was in any particular ranking order, but and that's as far as I got, because I read the bit about Making a Murderer. But it just it's just it's such a huge thing, isn't it? When you think of all the stuff that Netflix does, and when you think of the fact that there's stuff out there which is, dare I say, it's popular TV, isn't it? It's family entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be cautious at times when I'm talking about Making a Murder, because I realize that I'm teaching kids now. I don't want to encourage them to want to be watching an 18, do I?
To be watching an 18?
Well, Making a Murder.
I don't understand what you mean. Watching an 18?
Well, Making a Murderer is ranked as an 18, isn't it? It's a documentary, but it's, in terms of its rating.
Uh-huh.
Well, you can't go talk. What I'm saying is you can't go talk to kids.
A movie rating. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
So what I'm saying is that
we call it R over here, so that's why I was confused.
Restricted. Sorry, yeah, okay. But the fact is that when you've got something as popular as Making a Murderer, which is only available, or should only be available to a smaller segment of the viewers,
Right.
That's when it hits you to realize just how big it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being as it's not as open to the younger population like BoJack Horseman would be, certainly.
So it was Dan Davis that pointed out, wasn't it, that's one of the things that will hopefully help the $50 million bullet.
Yeah.
Is the fact that it is.
Well, that it will add on to it and help, yeah.
I mean, he came up with a whole heap of reasons why. One would hope that Netflix would take it on.
Yeah,
I would imagine they would be absolutely keen, as it's so close to Manitowoc. I mean, it's not just Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin's a huge place.
Yeah, for a couple reasons, right? And this is what we were talking about in Jerome's video. It's like, yeah, I mean, number one, folks, Dan Davies is experiencing a huge amount of success right now with Netflix, with a documentary called A Trip to Jamaica.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. And anyway, this thing is he's in it. He's one of the actors in it, and this thing is doing huge in about 190 countries for Netflix. So Netflix now has reason to like Dan Davies. Because he's in something that they're having a great deal of success with. And so that will only help. But then you add to what, like Paul was saying there, then you add to the fact that the $50 million bullet is just a stone's throw from Manitowoc. And it kind of makes it a no-brainer for Netflix. It's just like, so hopefully we will see it on Netflix. I want the $50 million bullet to be on Netflix. So hopefully that's what we'll see.
Excuse me, dude. Who's actually throwing this stone? Because it took us an hour to drive there.
Yeah, well,
it must be
in terms of the world, an hour.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know what you mean. It's not very far at all. I mean, it's you've got Nina, and then just below that, is it Oshkosh?
I think, and you got Appleton,
Winnebago. Yeah. Although I don't think we ever saw the lake, did we?
I didn't.
No, I didn't see any lake. But it was there. It was there somewhere. But it's all flat, isn't it? So your horizon isn't. You don't get to see very far, do you? Really?
Right. No. A lot of trees in Wisconsin, so no. Yeah.
And I would imagine, as I say, that Netflix would be keen to take on. $50 million bullet. Do you think they would be keen on convicting a murderer?
I don't know. I've heard that maybe Sean Reck's having trouble with that now or something, or I don't know. I heard something that something's not right in convicting a murderer land. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but anyway.
I think the problem they'll find with Netflix is the fact that in the trailer to Convicting a Murderer, they were sort of suggesting that Making a Murderer wasn't as unbiased as it should have been.
Well, that was basically Convicting a Murderer's premise. Yeah.
But I mean, we actually discussed that as well to a certain extent, didn't we, with Dan Davis? And he said about the fact, that, and I would imagine that people in Wisconsin, they might say, oh, it was biased, because you didn't get the interviews with the prosecution the way you did with likes of Dean and Jerry and Steve Davis and Walt Kelly and the family and all that kind of stuff. But if they decide not to be involved in it,
Right.
then that's not a lot they can do, is it?
Right. That's what I've said all along. And the fact is, Netflix covered the main points of the prosecution's case. I mean, they covered it. The prosecution's case was crappy to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
they only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that they immediately after Making a Murderer came out was that Ken Kratz kept going on about this Hoodlatch DNA,
right?
Which we now know doesn't make sense, but at the time, you remember that Texas Tech guy, Brandon Beck,
right, from the Texas Tech videos?
Yeah.
I don't remember which one of the guys he was, but I love those videos.
He was the one that you particularly liked because he was the one that looked at all of
Kratz. Okay, yeah, the one that went
in his echo chamber.
Yeah.
And they said, well, Ken Kratz spent all of he never mentioned it once, or was it something to do with in-cross? That's right. It was in his summing up. Ken Kratz didn't mention the Hoodlatch DNA. It was only when he got the chance to sort of go again after Dean and Jerry had their bit,
right?
That he actually
he was slotted to go after him, right?
Is that what it was? Yeah,
that's the way it is.
But, I mean,
the prosecution gets the last word, which I think is BS, because that means they get to have an entire closing statement or whatever where they get to say anything they want, and the defense doesn't get to say a word in refuting it. So I don't know. I just, because, and especially the way Kratz used it in particular, he didn't give any theory of his of what happened during the trial. And when the reporters were trying to question him about it, he was like, "Oh, I haven't said what my theory is." I've read it or whatever. He would just be like short or dismissive or whatever, right? Because he was waiting, and he puts that all together in his closing argument after he can't be refuted anymore. That's dirty pool. That is Ken Kratz.
Yeah. I mean, he's as you say, he was able to just say what he wanted. I mean, I don't quite know if when he's given his final delivery, are they not even allowed to object in any way?
They can object during closing arguments and everything, but like I said, it's like he that's when he decided. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he was doing in a sense, but it's like he's choosing to put his whole theory together at a point where nobody can then get up and suggest that it may be flawed or anything. I just think it's dishonest to save it for literally that point in time to put your narrative all together. I feel like he should have been kind of, anyway, I don't know. I just think it's dishonest.
But surely he's struggling to put a story together, isn't he? What story can he put together?
Yeah.
In any case, what's happened to him? Where's he gone?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's
deleted. He's deleted himself from Twitter, but I mean, you can't really delete yourself, but yeah. But he's trying to, and we know he recently deleted all of his YouTube videos,
which again is pointless because there's various people that have done copies of it, isn't there?
Yeah.
What was it? N64 Control had done them, and I think Millbilly had also copied them, and a few others. So I don't quite know how these people do that, but they've got that. So have you heard what the latest is in the Colburn and Griesbach pursuing Netflix? I saw that the Netflix lawyer had posted a load of stuff, and bizarrely, it was a lot of depositions that have recently been that there was a GoFundMe to get enough funds to purchase them.
Right. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen that, so I haven't I haven't seen that yet.
No, it's obviously it's this is what it all boils down to, doesn't it? It's the fact that we've got brain surgeons, the equivalent of brain surgeons, trying to figure out what's going on in the likes of Rule and McGilla and some of the other people. I mean, we're in the incredibly fortunate position of actually kind of overseeing their work. We can see what they're doing and discussing close hand, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very interesting. But it's some of it's sort of way beyond my sort of intellect. As when they're talking about timelines and what happened here and what happened there. I'm going to let you go, dude, because you seem pretty whacked out, and I suspect that this hour forward has. Well, yeah, you need your beauty sleep, dude.
Dude, I think you're smoking crack. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Do they have crack in Scotland? Anyway.
So what do we got next up with McGilla and Rule?
Well, that's Sunday, and they're thing I was noticing that they were talking about the picture of the damage on the window that looks like it might have been where the RAV looks like it might have been Slim Jimmed or something, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking into some stuff about that. I don't know. They're gonna have something pretty good for everybody. I mean, we're actually still, I think, finishing up just McGilla's original kind of presentation. And then watching Rule and McGilla go at it, man. Those two, they're freaking amazing. So they're just on it.
What's with this restless leg syndrome? I've never come across that before. Have you?
I experienced it.
Yes, I know.
Not all the time, but at times it can be quite annoying. And let me tell you, it often kicks in as soon as I'm about to drive somewhere that's a long trip or getting on a plane. It just will just kick in at the most inopportune times.
Some sort of nerves or something?
It feels like, I don't know. It's weird. You just feel like you want to move your legs because there's like some kind of like,
right?
It doesn't hurt. It's not anything like that. It's just annoying. It's annoying as hell. It's just really annoying.
Right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And yes, you did. I was watching the telly. You did fall asleep while you were watching the Aussie Rules football, and I did see this leg going up and down. And I think, what the heckins is this? Yes.
Now I'm glad my alarm woke you up. Anyways,
I know you are. Twice. Sydney, Manitowoc.
See, at least I had my own bedroom over at the Hod.
Yes.
At least it was in a different part of the house, I should say.
Yes, and
over in Sydney we had different bedrooms, but I think that concrete floor that it just like echoed underneath the doorway off of that floor.
Yeah, and when we were at the rally house, I, being the kind soul that I was, your alarm went off at some stupid time.
Like
and
midnight?
I thought, well, no, I can't remember what it was, but I was up, and it's like, what the hell was that noise? It's not the bloody alarm clock again. So anyway, I saw where your phone was and put it on charge, and of course you then got up in the morning. Anybody seen my phone? Anybody seen my phone? No. I had put it on charge for you. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, well, I think we've just about covered everything. As I say, watch out for. I'll be back here doing a few more. There's stuff that I particularly like to look at in further detail. In particular, and Jerry Buting in his interview after the armbank hearing is talking about Brendan. I find that very interesting that Jerry Buting went all the way to Chicago to be at Brendan's armbank hearing, because Jerry Buting was not Brendan's attorney, but he got within, I think it was an hour of possibly being that, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
So.
Yeah. And I think Jerry Buting does have a great deal of interest in it, from the point of view that he just feels so badly about what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives about a 10-minute interview, and it's on the Emily Matasic Facebook page if anybody wants to go and have a look at it. And the audio quality isn't that great, but towards the end of it, she reiterates the question that Judge Hamilton says, and that is, they refer to the fact that are interrogators allowed to bluff? Are they allowed to lie?
Right.
And Jerry's response is, well, first of all, Laura's response is yes, they're allowed to bluff.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is that, and I realise that you're presenting it to the judges, and the judges are looking at it from the point of view from other cases' point of view.
Oh, you're asking, should it be?
Exactly.
Would it be? It is, because the law is that they can do it. The law says they can do it. Yeah. But should the law say that?
Well, Jerry's point is this, that America, in America, it's the only place in the English-speaking world where the police are allowed to lie during an interrogation.
Yeah.
And obviously the question then is, well, what are they supposed to do then? And that's where that Richard Leo did an article, which is very interesting. And I'm just going to keep harking on about this, that there is an alternative. There is a much better way, which would look. We're all into this because of Steve and Brendan, but there's a much bigger picture out there, isn't there? And this is, when you see all these other cases on Netflix, remember, folks, these are the ones that have had people come and make a program about, and then Netflix have decided to cover it. The wrongful conviction rate is just ludicrous.
Yeah, it is. And the number, and the staggering number of false confessions,
yes,
that are connected with murder cases, is staggering. 25%, 1 in 4.
Yep.
So that means 1 in 4 murder cases involves a false confession. That's crazy. That's just wow.
Well, I've heard it mentioned many times when it's to do with the statistics about wrongful convictions, or whether it's to do with the fact that, in these wrongful convictions, there are these false confessions. You wouldn't accept these sort of figures in any other, aspect of daily life. It's like if 25% obviously if 25% of planes crashed, nobody would get on them.
Exactly. Right.
Even if 10% of every planes crashed, you would not get on them.
Right. Yeah, exactly right.
It's one of those crazy figures, isn't it?
Can you imagine? It's like rolling a 12-sided or a 20-sided die, or something like that. Like am I going to live today?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
wild.
yes, I'm gonna revisit it's known as the peace technique that they use here in the UK. Which, look, I'm not trying to belittle, um, and sorry, I'm not trying to say that here in the UK we don't have similar situations, because we do.
Right.
We have we, as we've discovered in the Luke Mitchell Jody Jones case. That's something that, yes, I would like to try and cover a bit more during Marathon. Similar cases. Definitely want to talk a little bit more about some of the other um, Netflix documentaries. I think watch Who Killed Malcolm X, because I think that when you get to the end of it, you like me will cheer,
Yeah.
because it's the fact that the guy says to the one dude that spent 20 years behind bars, there's these conviction integrity units, and it's like,
Oh,
oh, for goodness sake, yeah, absolutely.
right.
Unfortunately, there aren't many of them at the moment.
There's not.
No,
I think I'm hoping that their use becomes
I,
a lot
I,
wider.
I think there's 25, sorry, up to 35 counties now in America that
Oh,
have got
really?
conviction integrity. I mean, how many counties are there
Oh,
in most states?
yeah.
80.
There's thousands of counties. So yeah,
Well,
in the
how many?
United States, there's
Yeah,
thousands.
how many states are there?
50 states. Yeah.
50 states. And if you've got 80, that's
Yeah.
4,000 counties.
Right. Yeah. It's a
I'm
lot.
not. I mean, I'm not too sure if it's a case of the state themselves decide that every county should have them, or whether it's certain counties decide to have them. I mean, obviously, it must be that some counties are far bigger than others
Right.
in terms of budget and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's Los Angeles the city, and there's Los Angeles the county, isn't there?
Right.
Am I right? It must have a huge population.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's. I mean, as you go through LA, I mean, there's so many different parts. I mean, you got the Hollywood and West Hollywood and all that, and you got, and then you make your ways to the Santa Monica's and the Marina Del Rey, and then, then you start heading south, and you start getting towards, like, well, I mean, you got the whole beaches areas and the beach areas. You got, I mean, LA is a pretty big place. I mean, there's a lot of ground to cover there. But
And when you stood on the shoreline, can you actually, on a good day, can you see Crunch Island quite clearly, or is it a bit misty over there?
on a clear day, in Crunch Island, yeah, also known as Catalina, yes.
What have we got here? Can I click on that? Do you want me to click on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then can you? Oh, there we go.
Hello, folks. Hey, check this out. I just got this today after giving mine to the HOD. So I just got my new one today. That's the magnet for last year's Mammothon. And
can I not do that? And that'll make it. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, it makes it even bigger.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So it was raining here. That's as you can tell. Yeah, so that's it. And you folks can get those. Don Ethan can get those. We're gonna get also, as soon as we get our 2020 image, we're gonna make magnets available that way. Shirts. You guys can check out the Zazzle store, the Wrecking Crew Zazzle store. Miss Julie Pom Pom has been already working on some things for that. So there's already some items in there you can go check out. I think there is a Mammothon 2020 Mammothon shirt you can maybe get. But like I said, Don Ethan will be able to help you get one of these or one of the 2020 Mammothon ones if you want. So, let it looks like Mark says it looks like my car looks like a RAV4. Anyway, So yeah, if you want, check it out. And like I said, check out the Zazzle store. The Wrecking Crew Zazzle store. There's a fair amount of stuff in there as well. So.
It actually looks. Let me do that again. It looks like it's raining.
It is raining, dingus. I said that.
Yeah, I'm just saving up all these insults for later time. Don't you worry about that, dude.
Yeah. Hey, Jerome. Hey, I'll be with you as soon as I'm done here, buddy. That's all. I was letting you know I was live, and that's why I couldn't talk. Sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go because it's been an hour. Any questions? Smoke and crack. Let's see. I don't think so. I think we're pretty. Oh no, new comments.
Oh yeah, and Pam took the picture that I just showed you guys. You see that? Mark's telling all my secrets.
Where did it go? Where'd it go? There we go.
Dingus McGee.
No. Where's Mark gone? Oh, there we go. He's up there. Oh no, hold on a sec. Here we go. Your car.
Is it blue or green? Consoled by bigger liars. Yeah.
No, it's that one I was trying to click on, wasn't it? The Palm of God took the picture.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is the trouble because every time the new chat comes up, I go to click on it and it's moved up one, so I get the wrong one.
Right.
Right, I'm going to let you go because it's after midnight here and I've got a lesson first thing in the morning. So,
right on, buddy.
Okay, take care.
We'll see you. Hey, everybody, we'll see you. We'll love to. Can't wait to see you guys at Mammothon. So, I hope everybody's excited.
Well, you know the script. It's come on. It's
goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye from him. Goodbye.